Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. You are listening to the Daly Dose Sports Podcast, and I am your host, Clint Daly, coming to you from Mile High City here in Denver, Colorado, and we are back for another week of talking sports with a dose of common sense. Hey, happy Wednesday to you. Hope your week is going well. Hope everyone in your world is staying strong and staying healthy right now. And yes, kids, it is a magical time of the year because the NCAA Tournament is finally here. And we have a tournament this season that I think is without a doubt one of the most wide open and unpredictable maybe ever. Hey, we have a few teams that could win it all, no doubt. We also know that there are no unbeatable teams out here. Everyone can be beaten and have been beaten. I am expecting a really fun tournament, and I can't wait for it to get fully started tomorrow. Here's a question that I have for you this week. Did the selection committee get things right? No, of course they didn't. They rarely do, to be fair. But this year, didn't it seem just a little bit worse than usual? I mean, giving North Carolina a 1 seed over Iowa State, it's a little bit odd. Virginia getting in at all, that's a little bit odd. Michigan State getting in at all, also a little bit odd. The Big East only got 3 teams in. That was odd. Now, they did put 6 Mountain West teams in, but they put 2 of them in play-in games, and they gave all of the Mountain West really, really poor seats. Again, odd. And much like the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, what I struggle with every single year is their lack of consistency. So sometimes they look at a conference for one team and they say, well, that's what we valued. And then you'll ask them about another team and you'll say, well, they didn't have a good conference. They'll say, no, we looked at, they're out of conference. Okay, well, why? What was the difference between the 2 teams? I have a feeling you're probably having some other things at play here. And you will never convince me that the committee does not look at the name on the card because they always seem to favor the blue blood names over the non-blue blood names. And it happens so much, it can't be a coincidence. Plus, we always seem to have some really wacky matchups that, magically, I don't know how, but this guy's going to coach against his former team. Oh, yeah, funny how that worked out, isn't it? It's all just a little too convenient for me. I think the committee does definitely look at storylines, and I definitely think they look at the name on the card. It just happens too often for it to be a coincidence. And, it is funny to me because the committee will seed a conference like the Mountain West low, and then if they lose, everyone will point and say, see, they didn't deserve higher rankings. But forcing them to play as a lower seed against better competition doesn't prove anything. Putting, say, Virginia or Michigan State in, and then if they win, saying, see, we got it right. No, you didn't, because we don't know what someone else would have done. Maybe they'd have won too. I just wish, for me personally, that the committee had more uniformity, had more of a standard, that we knew here's what they're judging and here's why they're judging it. It seems like they change it to fit their narrative. That is my biggest beef with the committee. I understand it's a difficult job. Just have a uniformity to it, and then it would make more sense. One other interesting note that we are seeing this year is we are seeing teams like St. John's and Oklahoma or Pitt, a number of teams doing this. They didn't make it to the tournament, so they've been invited to the NIT, and they're turning it down. Well, if the big tournament doesn't want us, then we aren't going anywhere. Now, I'm sure the little temper tantrum feels good at the time. And I would assume you probably had your players say they don't want to play in the NIT. I get it. And yet, you're losing valuable time. You're losing practice time. You're losing game experience. You're losing time with those kids I'm not sure, again, that this is helping people in the long run, but it is just where we're at in athletics these days. Hey, as usual, we are hosting the Daly Dose Sports Podcast Bracket Challenge, so make sure that you go over and you sign up. It is open over there. You can join anytime. Just go to ESPN, go to the Bracket Challenge, and then join the group called Daly Dose Sports Podcast. It's very, very easy. Make your picks. It is free to enter, and I'm going to be sending the winner a Daly Dose t-shirt, so long as, you actually listen to the podcast here and there. Otherwise, I might not send it to you at all. You can also go to DailyDoseSports.com and find the link there. Make sure you go get those brackets filled out and join our group. Bragging rights, as usual, are on the line. Hey, just very, very quickly, a couple of very easy tips for you if you are not a bracket person. And every year, I hear from people and they say, Clint, I don't know how to fill a bracket out. I am not a college basketball person. Doesn't matter. It makes no difference. First, let me give you some advice. Don't just look at records. Teams are seeded where they are for a reason. Number ones are usually better. Number 16s are usually worse. Be careful selecting a team based solely on their record, because they might not have faced the same competition. You racked up a lot of wins against bad teams. It doesn't mean much. Now, we do know upsets are going to happen. They happen every single year. I think that the bracket challenge at ESPN will actually auto-pick top seeds for you if you want, but understand, because of the amount of upsets there are, good luck with that option. It might not help, because this tournament is, like I said, wide open. Finally, and I cannot stress this enough, you know those experts on CBS that tell us how this tournament will go? They've been watching games every day, all day for the last 3 or 4 months. That's all they do. They are usually dead wrong. You know who crushes these brackets? The little old lady in human resources in your office. She hasn't watched a game all year. She's picking based on the color of the uniform or on who has the cutest mascot. She wins. So here's my ultimate advice that I give every year. Don't spend too much time making your picks. This is one tournament where knowledge, honestly, it doesn't seem like it is power. If you are studying stats, you are breaking down like Ken-Pom rankings. I can't explain it, but it rarely works. So go fill out those brackets, do it in 5 minutes, and let's all hope for a really, really fun March Madness tournament. Hey, before we jump in today, just want to remind you, make sure you are stopping by DailyDoseSports.com. We have new articles going up. We have links to the bracket challenge if you can't find it anywhere else. And we have links to the podcast and the YouTube videos. Plus, we do also have links to Daly Dose gear. You want to see the t-shirt that you could win. You can pick it in any color you want. You just got to listen so that you can tell me what color you want. But make sure you are going over to DailyDoseSports.com every week and checking in with what is going on over there. Okay, YouTube, make sure you go over and check out the rest of the podcast this week, because I've actually got a couple things for you. One, we're taking a look at some very early winners and losers in NFL free agency. A couple of teams out there, I really like what they're doing. A couple of teams I'm very concerned about. Then we are breaking down those March Madness brackets. We are looking at favorites. We are looking at teams you might want to be cautious of. And we are looking at Cinderellas that could trip some people up and bust some brackets. Finally, we have a Daly Dose Top 5 that is looking at teams that have had some success in the tournament. Unfortunately, they haven't had the ultimate success. So make sure you go over and you check out the rest of the podcast. I will leave a link here in the comments on YouTube for you. Hope you all are doing well. I will see you all next Wednesday. Have a great week and enjoy March Madness.